opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a brand new week. Last couple of days of July here on Running Point. It is Monday, July 29th, 2024. I am Anthony Hartwig. You're wonderful. I shouldn't say wonderful. That's kind of I'm not trying to bat my chest, but you're loyal host through Running Point, I guess you could say. Here with you like I have been all summer long. Running Point always brought to you by our good friends that we're going to put in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. Right there, Greenwood Chevrolet. You can see them. They'll take care of you if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle. This is a place that I put my name on every day, so my stamp of approval is there. We also hear from their commercials, and you'll hear from their commercials a little bit later on the show. Not just a sales group. If your car is in the need for some service, Greenwood Chevrolet will take care of you there too. So whatever your needs are, Greenwood Chevrolet makes sure that they will do everything they can to get you in the right situation. They put the customer first, and then you'll hear that from their salesman. And I can especially put my stamp of approval for sure. And I've said this before on Kevin Lawson, who works down there for Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I went to school at YSU with Kevin Lawson. He was in our TCOM class. So, I had directing with him. I had video production with him. I had screenwriting with him, all the classes that you have to go through in that TCOM track at Youngstown State. And he was just the hardest working dude that you could ever picture. He was every directing project, he had the best one in the class. Every video production project, he was on top of things. Him and Herman, who is now I think a technician for big time sports broadcast. He's been in NFL games doing the wiring and the camera work. He was more of a behind the scenes dude. Kevin Lawson was more of a guy that liked to be on camera, but they were just a huge tandem. And Kevin specifically, that we're talking about Greenwood Chevrolet, and you'll hear from Kevin in their commercials, of course. And you can also follow him on TikTok, a great follow. Just hardest worker one of the hardest workers that I ever went to school with. And he'll take that into making you as comfortable and as well off as possible after going to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. So make sure to go down there, check them out. Once again, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, and we thank Greenwood Chevrolet for their sponsorship of not just this show, but YSN every single day. We couldn't do the wonderful things that we do without great sponsors like them, whether it be the coaches' corners, the player profiles, the live games, content, live shows, whatever it may be that you like about YSN, whatever entertains you the most. I guarantee we couldn't do it without the sponsors, right? Every player profile is sponsored by somebody. Every coach's corner is sponsored by somebody, especially postseason games when we get in there. For non-football sports, they're all sponsored. You're not going to get on YSN unless you have a sponsored game, unless you have someone flip the bill. So all the sponsors that do that are phenomenal as well. So we want to just thank Greenwood Chevrolet. If if you're passing Greenwood Chevrolet on the street and you like YSN, you should pull in and be like, hey, I'm not looking for a car necessarily, but I just want to thank you for making it possible for YSN to do what it does. Talking about doing what we do today, we have a good show. We're going to recap a lot of the stuff that just happened over the weekend. We had a really busy weekend, both in baseball and softball. Remember, we left you on Thursday, and at that point, Austintown was still trying to win a Central Regional Championship for the second straight year. And for the second straight year, they had to come out of the losers bracket to do it. They had that big win that we talked about on Thursday over Indiana, the Revenge Tour, where they got the win over Indiana, who beat them earlier in the tournament. So that was awesome. That got them into the Central Regional Championship. But since Thursday, they won the Central Regional Championship. And if you watch this game like I did, you'll probably feel the way I did about it. Like, man, it took years off of our lives. My whole family was sitting there watching it. The perfect championship. Two really good teams just refusing to die, refusing to go into that night quietly. Both teams well deserving of a trip to the World Series. I loved Missouri. I loved seeing what they were putting on the table. They played so hard. End of the day, though, Mila Hamley and her ability to get strikeouts was just too much. Hamley had 19 strikeouts in the day. Now, you'll hear that and you'll go, wait a minute, I thought there were 18 outs in a Little League softball game. Ha. Normally, you'd be right. This softball game for Little League went 9 innings. 9. And for those of you that are new to Little League softball, the normal games are 6. So that is 3 extra innings that these two teams needed to secure a final. It was 3-2 Austintown. They get the win. Mila Hamley could afford to go the distance because there was no tomorrow. So basically, even if they won, they had enough of a break where she wouldn't be affected by the innings limit. So she was going to go the whole time. The only thing that would stop her from completing the game is if she reached the day limit, which is 12 innings. That wasn't going to happen at all. You know, I mean, I say that, but they were 3 innings away from it happening, so I shouldn't really joke. But if it went 12, if it went past 12, then they would have had to change pitchers. It did not. It went 9. 19 strikeouts on the day, 2 hits, and just 1 run over 9 innings. He did walk 3. And when I, watching it, they were not like, oh my gosh, these wild walks. They were really good takes, really close walks. It was 50-50 balls. The Missouri hitters were aggressive early and then patient later in the count. It was a really good approach against someone like Mila Hamley. I was really impressed with their hitters, especially in the early goings of the game. You look at Austintown and their offense. They got on the board first. Bella Mattern, she hit RBI ground out. Missouri tied it up pretty quick with an RBI double. Top of the 8th, though. Remember, it was 1-1 until the 8th when Austintown went up 2-1. RBI single from Annabelle Mikesell. 2-1. Missouri came right back in the bottom of the 8th and tied it up at 2. They got an error scored a run to tie up the game in the bottom 8th. So they went to the 9th. Bella Mattern, who got the RBI to put Austintown up in regulation, she got the RBI that put them ahead 3-2, and that was a sacrifice bunt that scored in the run. So Austintown ahead 3-2. Finally, they were able to shut down the door and secure it in the bottom of the 9th, 3-2, the final score. I was really impressed with Brenna Young from Missouri, pitching a solid game, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, striking out 7. But that was the big difference right there. 7 strikeouts in 9 innings. Mila Hamley, 19 strikeouts. You just the one team that had success against Austintown in this tournament put the ball in play and held Mila Hamley to 4 strikeouts. That's what you have to do. A lot easier said than done with her velocity. I get it. But if you're game planning against Mila Hamley, which good luck to you if you're doing it, you got to be able to put the ball in play or you just do not stand the chance. Or I should say, you're not going to score standing a chance on offense. You stand a chance if you're able to match her with pitching and keep the other offense down, sure, but you just don't. You're not going to score a lot of runs if you can't put the ball in play against her. And every game except that Indiana game, she came back against Indiana, got a big strikeout total. That one Indiana game where they lost, where she only had 4 strikeouts, was really the one game where a team was able to consistently put it in play. And that's probably going to be, of course, the game plan for every team that plays them in the World Series. They're going to start with Mexico, the Mexican representative, and I should say the Central American representative, which is out of Mexico. That'll be actually the first day of the tournament. That'll be on August 4th, Sunday. That's when they'll start their World Series trip. They got 1 win out of 3 games last year, so they're going to try to do a little bit better this year and even maybe bring home the Little League World Series this year. Greenville, North Carolina is the site of the Little League World Series. Going to talk a little bit about it, but first, I want to. This is going to be a little bit of a rant because social media director, just got on Facebook this morning and got a little bit heated because you will go to our Facebook page on YSN, and if you scroll through, you will not find the post leading to that story anymore, that Austin Town, getting to the World Series story. This morning, Facebook took it down. And we got the notification, hey, your post has been taken down. I go, what the heck? I click on it. They claim that post was spam, that it was a misleading link, and they take it down. And then there's also a strike against us for violating community guidelines. And that's dangerous because if you get multiple of those, they can hurt your account. So that's like, I'm like, oh, that's stupid. It was no different than any other post that we post. The link is not misleading. You can go to it. It goes right to the story. Like all of our posts do. I was so frustrated because every time that YSN makes a post on Facebook, and I'm sure you guys tuning in that follow us on Facebook see it all the time, it's always bombarded, just flooded with fake links, especially if it's a promotional graphic that's saying, here we're going to have this game on tonight or this game's going to be broadcasted live. We are just flooded with comments that say, hey, you can watch this game live. And then it's a link, and it's a link that's trying to get you to subscribe to some service. And then here's a shocker. You're subscribing to nothing. They just want your credit card information. What? Joe Schmo Sports.net wants my credit card information and isn't a real streaming service? No, come on. But the point is, that's spam. That's the stuff that Facebook should be deleting. And that's what's frustrating because these policies and these algorithms and whatever Facebook uses to take down this stuff are in place for a good reason. That's a good tool. You should be taking down spam and people that are trying to put out fake links to get you to, buy stuff or give up your information. That should be taken care of. But let's tighten this up and make sure that the stuff that is supposed to be deleted gets deleted and taken care of. And the stuff that's nowhere near spam, if all you have to do is click on that link and you realize, hey, it goes right to the story that says in the headline. I was thinking maybe the headline, because it says World Series and it's not the MLB World Series, so it's a fake link or whatever. But Austin Town will make a return trip to the World Series. That's the only thing I can think of that flagged Facebook's computers. That's they associated World Series with MLB baseball. So they were like, well, you're not putting up any baseball World Series stories. We're in July. Scratch that. That's the only thing I can think of that even flagged it. And I'm so frustrated because I'm the one that has to go and delete all these fake links that pop up on our Facebook all the time, and they don't delete them at all. So I have to go through all of our comments and be like, delete, 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 and they come up like weeds. But then one of our posts gets taken down because it says it's spam. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And the real sad thing is, like I said, Facebook, if you get a couple of those where their computer, which you have no control over, takes it down, then they'll flag your account and they'll be like, hey, your account's suspended for 2 weeks or whatever. Or if it's bad enough, if you have enough of them, they'll be like, hey, your account is disbanded. So I'm like, well, if you're gonna have that be your consequence, you got to make sure you're tightened up with what you're taking down for violating your community guidelines. You got to make sure, like, there's got to be like a person safety net. Like, as much as we love AI and the advancements that we're seeing in these AI, like at the end of the day, like computers glitch, right? Humans glitch too. I get it, but I would love a person to be like looking over stuff that is flagged as spam and double check. Because if you're gonna strike an account because of violating community guidelines, you better be dang sure that account is violating community guidelines. Because if you're not, then you're just getting taken down for nothing. That's my social media director rant of the morning. I was a little bit hot under the collar earlier this morning when I got that notification, and you're seeing it let out. Running Point. That's what you get when you come to this podcast. I guess you could call it, podcast. You get the way my brain works, right? So once again, before we go off, we want to talk about Austintown going to the Little League World Series, which will be in Greenville, North Carolina on August 4th is when it starts. And this will be a really cool event for Austintown because not only will it be the gathering of the country and the world's kind of best Little League softball players, but also the Professional Softball League Athletes Unlimited for the second straight year will be sending their teams down to compete and have games in Greenville during the Little League World Series. So these softball players will be able to rub elbows and ask questions and get advice and all that fun stuff from quite literally the best softball players in the world. And if you've been following Running Point with me this summer, one of my passions this summer, and will continue to be my passions, is getting the big names of softball out there to our softball players in this area that are dreaming of being where they want to be. And it's interviews that say, here's my journey, here's what I went through, living the dream. We've been doing it all summer. We're going to continue it with another fun one tomorrow. But that's why it excites me, because now what's better than an interview that you can listen to is face to face. Like, I see you, Sierra Romero. I see you, Sydney Romero. I see you, Valerie Cago, Jocelyn Allo. All these players that softball fans will hear and know and be like, oh, I'm a little jealous, to be honest, that they get to go and meet these players that I've been watching their softball career over the years. Like, it's going to be a really awesome experience for those girls to be able to go down there and compete in the World Series, yes, but then also meet some of their idols. I've seen their favorite athletes, and some of them are big name softball players that will be down there for Athletes Unlimited. So it's like, hey, you're going to meet the girl that you look up to the most. You're going to be able to go to them and shake their hand, ask them questions, rub elbows with them, get advice from them, and then above all that, watch them play. Like, nothing will let you learn the game more than watching the best in the world do it. And nothing will make you fall in love with the game faster than watching the best in the world do it. I did it for 5 years up in Akron when I was, a season ticket holder for the Akron Racers, going up there watching the best in the world then, which was the MPF, the pro league that was in the country, the only pro league that was in the country at that point. So literally the best in the world coming to Akron, playing in Firestone Stadium. If that doesn't make you fall in love with the sport, then nothing will, right? So the fact that these parents, these communities get to go down there and also find new ways to fall in love with softball as well. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. August 4th is once again when it starts. We will hopefully get back in touch with Matt Hamley and the team and have them have another check-in segment with us before they go to Greenville. We love talking to him and those players. We had the preview of the regional tournament with Mila Hamley, Annabelle Mikesell, and Marissa Polder. So we're in touch with Matt Hamley. Hopefully we can get a couple more players and himself back in to talk about that regional tournament, now talk about going to the World Series for the second straight season and what that's going to be like for them. I know they're excited. How can you not be excited, right? For that moment, for that experience. We're definitely excited for them. They're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun following them as well. With that being said, we're going to take a commercial break now. And when we come back, we have more Running Point coming at you on YSN Live. And as always, brought to you by our good friends, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Back in a bit.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point, brought to you by our good friends at Greenwood Chevrolet that you literally just heard from at the end of that commercial break. We thank them as always for their support of Running Point and YSN. Everything that we're able to do because of them. And we have more to talk about today because we not only had The Austintown Little League softball team punched a ticket to their Little League World Series. But we also had NABF baseball that was on the network all weekend long that we have to talk about. We're going to fast forward to the semifinals, which happened yesterday. And what was really cool was after the dust was settled and the pool play was done, it was actually 4 YSN Class B teams all in the semifinals. Dura Edge, Astro Falcons, Athletics, Avalanche duking it out for a championship. They beat all the newcomers, all the people outside the area. So an all local kind of matchups in the semifinals. Dura Edge won the first one, got past the Astro Falcons. That's a big win. They got a big win over them in the Class B season as well, if you remember. One of that win that really was probably the difference in the 3B Barons getting that regular season championship. They won here in the semifinals 6-4, a pretty good baseball game on the day. When you look at the offense for Dura Edge, Alex Zordich, big day for him. 2 doubles, 2 RBI. Eddie Delansky had 3 hits on the day for Dura Edge. He scored twice, and then Ethan Fiesel and Andrew Porto both had a double and an RBI on the day for Dura Edge. Luca Franzaglio, he had the win on the mound. He pitched the last 3 innings of the game, allowed just 1 hit and no runs. He struck out 1. So a big day for Mr. Luca on the mound, shutting the door on the Falcons. For the Astro Falcons, R.A. Fox, who had a great summer both in Class B and the NABF World Series. He had 2 hits and a run. Blake Primrose, who is another name that we mentioned a whole lot throughout the summer, got a lot of publicity on YSN through everything that he was able to do. He had 2 hits, he had a triple, and he drove in 2 runs. So offense was pretty good. Pitching, though, for Dura Edge, especially Franzaglio, getting the job done in the last 3 innings of this game, securing that win for Dura Edge. And 6-4, you think, oh, that was a pretty clean baseball game. A lot of offense, a lot of good things happening. If you liked offense, though, the next 2 games, definitely for you. We'll start with the other semifinal between Avalanche and Athletics. Offense was cooking, right? It was cooking. It was an offensive battle, and it was Avalanche that got the win at the end, 16-12, the final score. So a lot of scoring, a lot of people crossing the plate. Carden DeJulia had the biggest game on the offensive side, 4 hits, a double, and he drove in. This is not a typo. This is not wrong. He drove in 7 runs, 7 RBIs. That is the largest RBI total we've seen from someone this summer. The Class B record was a couple with 6. We had a couple with 6 in Class B baseball. I don't believe any of our games that we broadcasted on YSN for Class B or NABF this year had a 7 spot with RBI. Well, last day of the baseball season, last day of the NABF World Series, and look at Mr. DeJulia doing it. 7 RBI on the day. He scored 3 runs. Jack Strasser, he had 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 2 runs. Jason Malley, he was able to have 2 doubles. He brought in 5 runs. Noah Filson and Grayson Eicher each added 2 hits. Eicher scored 5 runs and drove in 1. So you have one player with 7 RBI, you have another one with 5. That's 12 of the 16 runs from 2 hitters responsible. For Athletics, CJ Frasco, I mean, what do you have to do? I mean, what do you have to say? I mean, CJ Frasco, we've been constantly saying his name. I could have recorded CJ Frasco at the beginning of the excuse me. I could have recorded CJ Frasco is good at baseball at the beginning of the season and just hit play, which might have been good considering my voice right now. It would have been awesome to have just a CJ Frasco is good at baseball, hit play, not have to worry about choking. But CJ Frasco, another big game, 2 hits, triple, 3 RBI, 2 runs scored. And Gavin Falgren doubled twice. He drove in 4 runs for Athletics. Tyler Wardle, good at baseball, right? Grove City, going to play collegiately. Probably his last game locally, before he goes to college. He had a double and an RBI, and he scored 2 times as well. So a lot of offense, a lot of scoring, but Avalanche get the win 16-12. So that set up Dura Edge versus Avalanche, an all-local World Series championship. And in the end of the day, who's got the edge, right? Who's got the edge in a championship? Well, it better be the team that's literally has edge in their title, right? Dura Edge is your 2024 NABF World Series championship. I'll tell you more about it as soon as the webpage brings it up. Bear with me. Got a little bit of a hiccup here. I hope I'm still even doing live. My whole screen is frozen up. I can't go up or down. I can't click on any of the web pages. Mouse still works, but I can't click on anything. Glitch gremlins, right? Okay, there we go. Took a long time. What a lag there. So I'm just gonna hold up everybody while I reopen YSN and bring up that championship story so I can call out what went down. So Dura Edge wins the 2024 NABF World Series by the final score of 16-9. So 2 games for Dura Edge, total of 32 runs. Ridiculous. On the offensive side, Jacob Rinn had a big day, 2 hits, RBI, scored twice. Alex Zordich, 2 hits, an RBI, and a run. Alex Eusebio, a double, a triple, an RBI, scored twice for Dura Edge. For Avalanche, Grayson Eicher, 2 hits, 2 RBI, and a run. So he had a big day in both games. So did Jack Strausser, who we mentioned in the semifinals with their win over the Athletics. He had another big day. 3 hits on the day, including a double, 3 RBI as well. He scored a run. Tyler McEwen scored on 2 hits, and he had a double and a run. Drew Gold, who we've been saying a lot this summer and this spring, he had 2 hits, a double, 2 RBI, and scored twice. So the NABF World Series wraps up with a Dura Edge win 16-9 over the Avalanche. Congratulations to Dura Edge. We've loved covering them throughout their whole Class B season. And once again, a big congratulations to them on winning the NABF World Series. What a great showing for Dura Edge. Scoring 32. I can't even get over it. 32 runs in 2 days. I wish my Royals had a fraction of that this weekend against the Cubs, who are supposed to be a seller, and right now lost 2 out of 3 games to them. I digress. We also want to bring up the Junior World Series that is going on right now. The Central Region Champions, which are from our area here, the Steel Valley All-Stars that went on, and we had content about them winning their regional. Last week they had their first game yesterday. They lost to the Czech Republic team 6-1. 6-1. So they'll have to bounce back from that. They're still alive. They're still playing. Want to wish them the best of luck. The Senior World Series, we had our regional team in the Central region go to the runners-up. So the seniors over there, they got to the regional. They have back-to-back years where they finish regional runners-up. So we congratulate them on a great season. So really the only thing left for us in the softball, baseball world now are the Little League World Series, which Austintown will be featured in starting on Sunday. And then we still have our local team alive in the I am sorry. In the Junior World Series as well. Even though they lost their first game, they're still very much alive. They're playing pool play, and they'll be back in action. All their stuff can be found on ESPN Plus, just like Austin Towns can, starting on Sunday. So that's all the stuff to look forward to. We will continue our Living the Dream segment throughout the week as well. And then next week, we'll have a couple more Living the Dream segments. I think we'll have, if my calculations are right, we've stopped scheduling them, but we'll have overflow of maybe 2 more after this week to close out the softball season, which will line up right with the Little League World Series ending and the softball coverage ending as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. But we'll also next week, that's when our fall sports previews and coaches corners will start. Volleyball tryouts will start on August 1st. So I want to wish the best of luck to all the volleyball players out there that are working for tryouts. I know athletics had a lot of stuff this summer with Rachel Storm Baker to get you ready for tryouts. Hopefully you took advantage of that. And we're 2 weeks away from volleyball starting. The official start date is August 16th, and I know there's games on YSN on the 17th. So we're right there, right around the corner for volleyball. Of course, football will be that next Friday. Soccer will be that same week. Golf starts this week. Golf starts August 1st. There are matches going on August 1st for golf. So golf's this week. Golf is early birds, right? They want to get done and have their state championship before that weather turns. So golf is an early bird sport, and we'll definitely have recaps of golf on the website as they get sent in to us throughout the end of the week as well. So that's a lot of stuff to look forward to here on Running Point and YSN throughout the rest of the week. But we want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to remind everybody once again that we still have softball alive in the Junior and Little League World Series. Make sure to tune into that and support our local players. And also check out the Olympics. It's been really, really fun to watch so far. Kind of a my recap so far, the things I liked actually enjoyed watching. It was really cool to watch our synchronized diving team, which I know everyone heard that and goes, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?" It was like to see them get a silver was really cool. It was a really cool story. Cassidy Cook comes back after missing the last Olympics, thinking that she was going to be retired, but then gets drawn in for one more Olympics and gets the best medal finish that she's ever had in her career. So congratulations to the tandem of Cassidy Cook and Brooke Bacon for getting the silver medal down there. Beach volleyball has been really fun to watch. Love it. Our volleyball team, I left. They were down 2-0 to China at the start of our show. It wasn't looking good. We could not get outside hitter help for the first 2 sets. We could not get anything going on the outsides. And because of that, the China block was just so focused on middle and opposite. We weren't a threat from the outside. It was clear as day. China blockers were just absolutely saying, if you're not going to threaten us from the outside, all of our blockers are going to be on your middle and opposites. Wasn't going well. But China won the Olympics in 2016. So very good China volleyball team. So no slouch in the first game of the Olympics for our volleyball team to try to come over. Watching the gymnastics last night, I've talked about Simone Biles before. Freak of nature athlete, once in a generation talent for that sport. 27 years old, and she landed a vault that I believe is the first woman to ever land the vault that she landed last night. At 27, that is as if, just for you guys that are new to gymnastics or don't follow it, like a 27-year-old girl doing something like that is probably like equivalent to, let's say, a quarterback in football throwing for what's the record for yards in a season? Like 5,000. So what if he threw like 55,000 yards in a season, but he was also 49 years old, like older than anyone's ever done it elitely by a long shot, 50, 52, whatever, and doing it at the absolute best you can possibly do it. That's kind of what the equivalent to what we're seeing Simone Biles do in women's gymnastics right now. And a part of me is like, man, it's kind of fishy that no one went into 20. Maybe it was the way we treated our gymnasts back in the U.S., the old U.S. gym regime. Probably had something to do with it, because now all of a sudden Simone Biles is like, hey, I'm 27. I'm still doing this at an awesome clip, and I was well taken care of for my career. So it's another bad mark to all the bad marks that are against USA Gymnastics back in the day. And you can add another one to maybe affecting the longevity of some of these careers, that who knows, maybe some of the greats that we've seen in the past could have gone a lot longer than they did. Maybe Carly Patterson, maybe Shawn Johnson, Nastia Lukin, maybe they could have gone a little bit longer if they were under a regime that took care of them a little bit better. I don't know. It's crazy what Simone Biles is doing right now in the Olympics. And then our men's gymnastic team before, a little bit of a tough showing. I know our favorite for the all-around fell twice on the parallel bar. So that's not good. He's not going to be in the all-around. He's not going to be in that event final. Hopefully he's able to shake it off, because we're going to need his parallel bar, well, today. I'm going to watch it tonight, but for the team final, because we're going to need that big score. So hopefully he can wash that off and be able to give his best for the team final for us to get a medal in that. Swimming has been fun. The Olympics are fun. The Olympics are just fun to watch. A lot of sports that you kind of get into for the Olympics that you don't really get into any other time. Fencing, we just had a gold and silver medal in fencing, which is, from my perspective, I think it's kind of unheard of for USA. I think there's other teams that usually dominate fencing. So to have a gold and silver medalist in female fencing was really cool to watch just this morning. It's going to be a fun Olympics. Let's go. Let's keep watching USA and supporting our country. And I know I will be. I know you will be too. So that'll do it for today's episode of Running Point. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow from 1 to 2 as always, talking more local sports. And we'll have another segment of Living the Dream with a special guest to be announced tomorrow on Running Point. Again, brought to you by our good friends over at